And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and I have two videos coming out at the exact same time. An update video. It's got a bunch of really good information about what's becoming farmable. Trips to EA, is Revan coming into the game, a sandbox mode. I'm serious. All of that's on my update video. This video is specifically going to be just about their kits. We're going to do a very brief analysis. Now, I got to get to work, so we're going to be pretty quick. I'm going to try and bust this out. Now, I'm happy to introduce HOLDO into the game. Rose, not as much. I'm sorry, EACG, but I'm really not excited about Rose. She's basically an attacker, and she's meh at that, in my opinion. I think she's mainly built for PvE, and I don't even know if she's going to be the better alternative for that. But we also have HOLDO, who is a tank that heals, is very disruptive tank that heals, and that was kind of the missing piece that I was hoping that they would bring out. So HOLDO gets my attention. All right, of course, she's going to be resistance. She's a tank. Her first ability is actually called Measured Shot, and it's going to deal physical damage to an enemy. And then she gives a unique foresight. It's not a normal foresight. It's a unique foresight to one of her allies, and they have it for 2 turns. And whenever that specific foresight expires, either expires or comes off, they will gain 10% health. So she's giving a single unique. This doesn't apply to all foresight and healing. That's why you'll notice that, and by the way, the GIF is horrible. They gave us some footage to utilize, but I don't have the time to chop it up right now, so I'm just going to go over this. But basically, they'll give that unique foresight. It's even if that character has foresight over them, they'll get the second foresight. You won't see both instances, but they're there, I promise you. And then when the one expires, the one that she does, the unique one, then they'll gain that life. As far as her first special, and by the way, she has 2 specials, so she's going to have 3 total abilities. And the basic that we showed you really doesn't have that much damage. I mean, critting for 5,000, but she is a tank. Remains to be seen how fast she'll be and how much health and protection that she will have. Now, Bunker Buster is kind of cool. It's her first special. It's an AoE. It's an area of effect, so it does damage to everybody on the other side, provided that they don't have foresight or something like that. And it inflicts daze for 2 turns. Now, we know Daze is a really, really good debuff in the game, and so this is exciting because this is a amazing counter to all the Jedi Raid teams. If you're playing Jedi Raid, this will help shut down all the other Jedi Raid teams that are out there. So she's really geared towards helping you in the meta versus the meta. So I think a lot of people are going to really get on board with this character. It will also inflict defense down and evasion down on the primary target. So if you look, Captain Phasma gets evasion down and defense down, and then Daze applied to 3 other characters. Again, it has to go through potency tenacity check, so instantly we know this character needs potency. Now, going into the second special called Reprieve, it says it dispels all debuffs on another target ally. So she has one ally on the GIF, and you notice that that ally, the debuff comes off, and then they recover afterwards 40% health and protection. Now, what's really cool about that is while you can't dispel the plague with this dispel, you can. And the reason is because after it dispels all other buffs and the plague is sitting there, it will then gain 40% health and protection, which almost guaranteed, almost assuredly will be enough to get rid of the plague, because that is the only way to get rid of the plague, is to get that character back up to 100% health. So this directly counters the Night Sister meta. Pros is it's very powerful. Con is it's only one character, okay? So she's only going to be able to use it so often, and she is going to be able to target only one character. So it's not as overpowered, I think, as some people would assume it. Now, it says, includes Zeta upgrade. It says, when another resistance ally loses foresight, she gains taunt for 1 turn and recovers 10% health. While HOLDO doesn't have taunt, she gains 50% speed. So she's going to go really fast if she's not taunting, and when she's taunting, she will be taunting, and that's kind of the whole point of a tank, right? And then all other resistance allies have critical avoidance, 20%. So she's making it much harder for your team to be critically hit. Very cool. Now, that is a Zeta on that unique. All right, now let's see what they say about PvE versus PvP. I already have my opinions. I think she'll be great in both. It says when it comes to PvE, HOLDO shines in territory battles and territory wars. She'll bring a durability to the team that you're looking for. Her basic measured shot helps protect the team by giving them foresight, which is going to help, and that health recovery once that foresight expires. She also interacts well with her unique quiet confidence ability to sustain her taunt. She'll either be really fast or taunting, so pretty cool. Under Jedi Ray, or Jedi Training Ray, Bunker Buster, which is that huge AoE that does daze, says that it has the ability to lock down the enemy team, and Reprieve serves as a great dispel. It's only a single character dispel, but it also has a high health. Now, it says a relatively low cooldown. Neither one of them above showcased the cooldowns. I didn't have time to look at the video footage because we got this footage last minute, but I think it's 3 for that and then 4 for the other, but I'll double check once I have an opportunity. As far as PvP, they say she is the premier resistance tank. I think that's a no-brainer with the ability to speed herself up, taunt, apply daze on everybody, other debuffs on her basic, the ability to regenerate health in 2 different ways on characters, both by applying the foresight, which foresight also is just very synergistic with the team. And then it also makes difficult to focus fire on her when she's not taunting. Everybody else gets that critical hit evasion, so pretty cool. So it makes HOLDO a longer-lasting disruptive tank. We're looking for disruptive tanks. That's why K2SO in this team worked pretty well, because he's a very disruptive tank. That's why General Kenobi works very well. He has that foresight synergy, and he's a very disruptive tank. He's constantly causing you to focus on him, and when you get rid of him, then you can worry about the other characters. So it's creating time for Jedi Training Rey to really do what she does. So pretty exciting. And then also for PvP on the offensive side, her Bunker Buster special dazes the enemies. Now it says all enemies, but that's obviously got to go through a potency tenacity check. And you noticed in the GIF there was only 3 dazes, which means that it's going to apply provided that you pass that. And so with that, if you're going against a lot of Throns and CLSs, you may not see as much of the AoE days applying. And for PvE, you may notice it doesn't apply as consistently as you would like it to. But overall, she has a very, very solid kit, and I think she's going to be an excellent addition for PvP and PvE. And remember, she should be farmable in the next 2 to 3 months, so no rush. Now let's go look at Rose. Now Rose is an attacker. You can see her right here. Her abilities are basically called Courageous Shot for her basic, and it will deal physical damage to a target enemy, and then grant Tenacity Up for 2 turns to a random resistance ally who didn't have it. 50% chance to attack again. So you notice the first attack doesn't crit and hits for 3. The second one crits and hits for 5, and this is an attacker. So unimpressive. The Tenacity Up is kind of a cool addition since a lot of people are no longer using Rex in their team, and Tenacity Up is going to help counter everything, including the Plague. But, unfortunately, the Tenacity Up is not a good enough ability for me to think that this basic is overpowered or anything like that. She has a couple of specials. The first special is called Dauntless Bravery. It has a cooldown of 5, and resistance allies are going to get defense up for 2 turns. Not a huge advantage, but it's something. For each resistance ally, it will also remove 8% turn meter from the target enemy. So if you look at Captain Phasma, everybody got defense up, and Captain Phasma didn't lose any turn meter. However, the target should lose quite a bit of turn meter. If you notice, she does gain that 10% turn meter for each resistance ally and first order. Now, if you're going against first order and you have a full resistance team, that's potentially 100% turn meter and an extra turn. So this, in the right circumstances, could be basically just a freebie that you can use. She has a cooldown of 5 on it, so she's not going to use it a ton, and it's, again, not a super overpowered ability. As far as her second special, it has a cooldown of 5 as well, so these are both really high cooldowns. The Shock Prod Strike. This is what she did in the movie. It will deal special damage to a target enemy and inflict stun. So she brings a stun to the table, and the stun's okay. When the stun expires, the target is then dazed for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. So can't be resisted means that it doesn't go through a potency tenacity check, and can't be evaded means that if they have foresight, it goes through that foresight. That's the difference between those two things. So that is a really good stun, and that is a really good ability to daze because it's a guaranteed daze afterwards. So pretty cool. However, I think it's good, but it's a single target. It's not an AoE daze or anything like that. And she's not doing a ton of damage. And as an attacker, that's kind of the point of bringing her in. Now, she has a unique. The unique is called Valiant Spirit, and she has plus 10% offense for each exposed enemy. And we do know they're going to get exposed when she's running with Rey. So whenever another resistance ally scores a critical hit, again, that's going to happen a lot, she'll gain 10% turn meter. So because of the exposes, because of the resistance ally scoring critical hits all the time, she's going to be going a lot. So those 5 cooldown, turn meter cooldowns, seem like a lot, but it'd probably go pretty quick. Again, though, in Arena, you really, really need for there to be time to ramp up and things like that, and I just don't see it with her. Again, the kit just seems to me unimpressive. Now, they say for PvE that she's going to contribute to the Resistance team, and that the examples of what she can do are impressive. I'll look at the video and we'll see. Working under Rey, she challenges all areas of the raid phase. So I'm interested to see how she does in like a phase 2, 3, and 4 team that people have been running to see if she works there. I'm not sure that she's going to be as good as someone like, Asajj Ventress or something like that. But they do talk about her turn meter manipulation, which is good. Also, the shock prod strike is useful in establishing control by locking down the enemy. That's true with the stun, and then the conversion to the daze. That is pretty cool. Valiant Spirit pairs well with turn meter generation of Courageous Shot, and that's true. She's going to get a lot of extra turn meter with the crits and things like that. So pretty cool. She'll get some increased offense as well. Her first special will probably be kind of a freebie because she's going to get a lot, 50 to 100% turn meter more than likely. Depends again if you're running against First Order or not. In PvE, you're not, so she's going to more likely get about 50% turn meter. And then for PvP, it says that she answers the call and slots in with Rey nicely. Now, my guess is you would use her in one of the back 2 slots because you're not going to replace R2 or BB-8 with her. And then that leaves the tank in the back. You got to have at least 1 tank for Arena. And it says that her resistance faction, it makes the resistance faction speedier. That remains to be seen. In theory, that's the case, but again, we would have to play and see how it plays out. Her unique, the shock prod strike, is the first ability that inflicts stun for 1 turn, and then passively and automatically, without the ability to evade it or resist it, goes to a daze. I will say that is kind of a pretty cool, unique feature. I'm just not sure that one overpowered feature is enough to make or save this character's kit. The result's an effective mechanic that helps you establish control. That is true. Control is a big deal, and being able to daze after a stun is pretty awesome. So what are your thoughts about the kits and the characters? Are you going to go for one of those characters or just wait till they go free to play? Are you excited or are you disappointed? Leave your comments down below. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.